Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening from wherever you're joining from the world. This is Tribin here. I lead marketing for US and Canada for Zoho Creator. And I have with me a very interesting panel, folks from BSP who have extensive, who are authorized partner of Zoho and have extensive knowledge in building custom solutions for manufacturing on Zoho Creator. Now, when we were putting this entire thing together, um, we came across multiple use cases for which low code as a technology would fit in seamlessly for manufacturing and as an industry. The industry in itself is extremely fast evolving, but also has a lot of legacy applications and processes and digitizations requirement that within themselves. So any solution that can add in efficiency, that can add in speed to digitize would add a lot of value to the vertical or to the industry in itself. And that's where creator comes into picture and low code technology comes into picture. So this is a part, this is part one of a three-part series webinar that we are doing. Um, in this particular session, it's a hybrid model that we have kind of figured out, whereby we will start with an introduction to the need for low code in manufacturing. After that, we will have a small demo of an app built on Zoho Creator, manufacturing app, which BSP has built. So we'll go through that, and then we will have a small discussion within the panelists over here. So let me, I have introduced myself. Let me invite my fellow panelists to introduce or give a brief introduction about themselves. So Yunus, probably will start with you and pass the mic around.
Thank you, Tribin. So hello, everyone. My name is Yunus Utlu. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Jason BSP. Been with the team from 2017. So yeah, former developer, a former developer. So this is no, this is not new to me development and everything. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Yudlu. Paul, if you can go next.
Yeah, thanks for joining, everyone. My name is Paul Trinidad. I'm the U.S. Director at BSP. I'll do a big bulk of the presentation here to get things started, but I'll continue to pass it on to Usama next.
Thank you very much. Osama, if you can go next.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Osama Laqi, and I am happy to be with you today to present our point of view for this field of manufacturing apps. So I'm happy to be with you today. I'm with BSP from 2018, and I'm leading a team of developers to push the limits of Zoho Creator and Zoho in general. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Philip, if you could go next.
Hello, everyone. I'm Philip. I've been with BSP since 2017, and I am the technical lead here at BSP in Quebec, Canada.
Thank you very much. We also have Angela and Merlin. Angela is from BSP and Merlin is from Zoho. Both of them will be handling any questions that you share via the question panel on the left-hand side. Before we get started, couple of poll questions and ground rules of the session, right? So all the attendees will be in listen-only mode. You can ask any questions using the Q&A panel on the left-hand side. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a multi-session or section-wise presentation that we have created for you. So we'll start off with Paul, who would take you through the basics of low-code in manufacturing, and then we'll get into the demo and then a panel discussion. In the meantime, I have a couple of questions before I let Paul start. So you will see a poll on the panel. It'll be great if you can respond to it so that we get an idea of the kind of audience that we have today with us. So I launched the first one, which is, Paul, if you can go to the next question. sorry, next slide. So, how familiar are you with low-code technology? We typically get a mixed bag of attendees when we do something like this, especially when it's an introductory session that we do. So, we just want to understand whom we are talking to, so that we can bring that perspective which helps you the most during the discussion. All right, I can see that majority have a basic understanding and knowledge of low-code platforms, um, and uh, followed by a bunch of people who are getting to know the platform. Great. And just one person has extensive experience. All right, that helps. Uh, there is one more poll question for you guys, which is just want to understand what is the background of work that most of you do. Are you business owner? Are you from the IT or technical teams? Are you from sales, marketing, the functional teams that are around? Again, helps us drive the conversation, which will benefit most of you. Give it a couple of, okay. So interesting that it is almost an even split, about 30 percentage for each profile. So that's really nice to see. We have a healthy mix of different functions over here. All right, so without further ado, I'll let Paul take over the presentation and run through the introduction of low code in manufacturing. Paul, all over to you. And those who are not speaking will probably be we'll go off video so that the highlight or spotlight is on Paul.
Okay. Thank you, Tribin, for the introduction. It's really an honor to speak in front of all of you. So just to give you some background on myself, I went to business school at UT Austin. I started working at Zoho actually directly, doing sales, and kind of got interested in a bit of implementation. And I joined with BSP, who's a premium partner along the way. And actually, Zoho Creator is not exactly what I was introduced to when I first heard of Zoho. I heard of, Zoho One, Zoho CRM, things like that. But more and more, I find myself doing Zoho Creator based projects. So the whole purpose today is, and I'm glad we have a variety of people joining, because you're gonna see a bit of each. So I'm gonna give you some background, kind of why we're presenting this. Eunice is gonna give you a little bit more detail about Zoho Creator, and then Philip and Usama are going to actually show you the software. So that'll be the fun part, is actually seeing the demo. But I definitely just want to give a bit of an introduction of like why we're here, why we're showing you the demo. So if you could bear with me, and we'll try and make it as entertaining as possible. So yeah, for those of you who are new to Zoho Creator, kind of voted low code, not very technical, that is completely okay. We're going to start off by reviewing that. What is low code? What exactly does that mean? Go into why, companies are embracing low code, especially in the manufacturing industry. I imagine most of you are related to the manufacturing industry, but even if you're not, some of these things can still apply to your industry. So we thank you for joining either way. Then we're going to go into why Creator is the ideal solution for you. So, like I said, we'll actually show you Creator, how we're using it. And since this is a series of webinars, as we go along, we're going to get a bit more technical to get you to that end goal. So essentially, what you're learning today is the premise. And by the third one, we're going to be actually coding on the screen, right? So it should be a lot of fun. And last but not least, we will get to that demo. So let's go ahead and jump right into reviewing the low code. All right, cool. So let's have a quick recap. Maybe you know what low code is, maybe you don't know. So what I want you all to do is just imagine you're visiting a foreign country where people are speaking a completely different language, right? You don't know how to communicate, but you're there for a couple weeks. So you got to eat, you got to sightsee, and you're going to try your best. So low code is kind of like having a personal translator between you and technology. So instead of struggling to speak fluently, low code's allowing you to communicate your ideas in a simplified visual language that technology understands. So, it's taking the ideas out of your head, and instead of giving them to an expert programmer who's going to effortlessly convert things, now you are kind of empowered to do that. So it's going to spare you a lot of the headaches and empower you and also some of the employees or team members to build the dreams that you're having to life in your software. So specifically through Zoho Creator, we have drag and drop, click to add fields, forms, custom modules, and these things are already incorporated. So, you don't have to spend time, when a lot of people build apps, they start from the first line of code. So with Zoho Creator, it's, all those tools are there for you. The toolbox is already built, and then you can focus on your needs. So that being said, what are the needs of manufacturers primarily, but also through all industries? So specifically with manufacturers, a lot of you already know it's important to stay agile because in the modern business landscape, there's always the demand for flexibility, responsiveness, and innovation. So as the consumer demands are changing, as the market trends change, technological advancements, you basically are going to have to stay agile and you're going to have to quickly adapt to remain competitive. Because if you can't keep up with those things, then it adds a bit of weakness to your business. So agile manufacturing processes, which are enabled through low code, allow you to swiftly adjust your production lines, introduce some new products, respond to your changing customer needs, optimize efficiency, which is a big part too, right? And incorporate the new technologies, so you're not left behind. That's a big part of it. Embracing the agility that comes with low code is your ability to pivot, stay ahead of the curve, and be ready for the new opportunities. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the long term success in the changing market. So that's why low code platforms provide the development environment that you need. Like I mentioned, empowering users, the business owner, and the actual manufacturers to create these agile applications without going to school for coding and Python and Java, things like that. So low code solutions, companies can experience a range of benefits. And that's briefly what I want to touch upon now. Like I mentioned, we're going to be getting to that demo here in a second as well. So the benefits are pretty clear. Like I mentioned here, rapid application development, customization, improved collaboration, and the best part of all, low maintenance costs, right? That's what we all want. So when I say rapid application development, it's just reducing a development cycle, right? Enabling the manufacturer to build applications at a fraction of the time compared to a traditional ERP. So time is also money, right? So that's another savings there. The customization part is pretty huge with Zoho. Um, a lot of platforms, ERPs that come out, they're built a certain way and it's not exactly built for your business, right? Every company, every manufacturer is going to be a bit different. So you want to ensure that you have a solution that's scalable, that's flexible to change with you as your business grows. Sometimes when you start off in a business, your process then is going to be way different than it is a couple years down the line, and it's important to be able to make changes, right? um, you don't want to have to call the developer every single time a small tweak has to be made. So continuing on, the collaboration's a big part, like you guys can see here on the screen. It's just visually appealing. It encourages the collaboration between the user. You're not looking at something from the 90s. There's great colors here, easy to use interface. It's a big part. It keeps your workers motivated to use this application, and that's what encourages the collaboration at the end of the day. And last but not least, like I mentioned, the maintenance cost. So with the intuitive interface, simplified maintenance, you have Zoho making sure the app's up to date, always dropping in new features. I mean, it's the most bang for your buck. You don't have to pay for the updates. Even if you guys are familiar with Zoho Creator, they recently did Creator 6, right? That's just something they enabled for all their users. They're helping with the migration. I mean, those are big time maintenance costs that you wouldn't get with another provider. So, yeah. And guys, as we go, feel free to drop some questions in the comment section if you need. And we have the team ready to stand by. We'll also do a panel at the end. Just want to, make sure I reiterate that. And perfect, why is Zoho Creator the right solution? So if you're new to Creator, you might be wondering, so why Zoho? Why not SAP? Why not any of the big guys, right? Microsoft, whatever. So that's what I want to talk about a bit. There's really four things that matter to me, at least, why I personally like Zoho. So first of all, it has some manufacturing process flexibility already built in. It's going to have the flexibility. I've kind of hit that on that a bit. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the departure from traditional ERPs and then the integrations, which is my favorite, which I think is almost everyone's favorite in using Zoho, is there's a ton of integrations available. So first, actual manufacturing processes. We're talking about inventory. We're talking about BOM, bill of materials, quality control, production scheduling. If you're in manufacturing, I'm sure you use one of these at some point. There's even other Zoho apps that provide some of these features, but not all of them. So luckily, we're enabled with Zoho Creator to build out what's missing. So this is just a small screenshot here, but this is of course like manufacturing related. You have your order management, you have your warehouse, you have your main inventory, and Usama is going to show a bit later what that actually looks like too in the demo. Flexibility, you'd be surprised, but a lot of people aren't up to date with this. So you do have the mobile option, right? You can make changes on the go. Sometimes when you're in that warehouse, the internet is spotty, so you need to be able to make things. And when you get back to the internet, it'll sync back up with your system, right? So some of those things are what's kind of awesome about Zoho, the offline options, accessing things on your mobile, being over to switch right over to Click and to shoot your manager a message if something's missing. Just making it easy at the end of the day. And like I said, making the workers want to collaborate on the platform. The big thing, departure from traditional ERP. So instead of calling up that developer to tweak every single time, it's kind of, even with us as BSP, as a Zoho premium partner, we want to enable the clients to know how to make the changes themselves, right? So to empower them of, hey, this is how you tweak things. If you need to add a custom field, this is how you do it. That's like a big part of our training. It's always ongoing. Everyone's needs are unique, of course. But the good thing is you can get to that point because Zoho empowers the user to do that. At the end of the day, it's you building apps on this application. You're not starting from scratch, like I mentioned. So yeah, that's obviously a big part of it too. And this image is mainly just meant to give an idea of the drag and drop, multi lookup fields, just clear interface for you to work with. And last but not least, the integration. So this is kind of like my favorite part. Obviously, Zoho works in the cloud, but you could see here, like the great thing about Zoho Creator is you could sync it with other apps. So you can sync your CRM. A big demand that we deal with now is Zoho Books. People want the numbers to match up with their stock, with their production schedules. Sometimes they even want analytics to come out of that. So yeah, those are all extremely important. Some businesses want some and others don't. And the good thing about Zoho is Zoho apps integrate with other Zoho apps. And on top of that, there is a lot of third-party apps too. So it's okay if you're using a Zendesk, or it's okay if you're using a QuickBooks or one of those. It still has the capabilities, the open API to integrate with other software. So that's, like I mentioned, my personal favorite thing about Zoho. What made me start enjoying using the software is the integration piece, because you can integrate with a ton of stuff. And since it's open API, even if there's no integration, you can always build it. So just another benefit there. Okay, so we're headed towards that demo. Just a couple more things to cover here. So one thing I wanted to address is, we're not at the finish line yet, but we have worked with people who are at the finish line, some of our clients, and I just wanted to share some best practice with you early. So by the time you guys get there on the third webinar, you can keep these in mind. of, hey, this is what people are doing successfully in Zoho. This is what the successful companies have been doing to make sure that they have that long-term solution and they're not just, kind of fidgeting and building incomplete apps. So number one, the most critical thing of all is analyzing before you develop. So it's knowing your end goal, it's knowing your business process, it's writing it out, um, understanding how things work. And once you have kind of like a blueprint, then you can start turning towards development. Um, we tried it without analyzing before. It definitely makes it more difficult. And if you were building an app by yourself, it's probably the biggest thing I would recommend. The second thing is building through Zoho tools. Like I mentioned, since you do have the integrations available for you, since it does integrate seamlessly with CRM, with Zoho Books, it's not a requirement, but some of the most successful companies have incorporated those other solutions through Zoho Creator, and it's kind of left them more successful, if we're being honest. So the third thing, which is not everyone thinks about, is empowering the citizen developer. So you don't have to have a full-time coder on staff or a developer. You can use BSP for that, but ultimately, you can have a citizen developer, which is basically someone that works at your company who's actively contributing to the app, right? So by providing that user-friendly interface and instead of having them code, it's more abstract and thinking about what they need in the app and enabling them to make those changes on the go. So that might be your warehouse manager, it could be somebody in your admin team, but that low code platform is going to enable the people from various departments to participate in the development process, which is, that's the thing that fosters innovation. That's what fosters the collaboration and is going to empower your employees. Um, the last thing before we start the demo is just leveraging the automation, right? At the end of the day, these are apps. If you can make them work for you, better, right? So you want to have some workflows, you want to have automation to keep things running. Instead of doing every task manually, the app can do a lot of that for you. So that's the goal. I appreciate you guys definitely sticking with me through that presentation. I know you're eager to see the actual demo, so we're gonna move towards that. I'm gonna bring in Eunice now, and this is just a screenshot for the citizen developer. But I'm gonna bring Eunice back in now. I just want to give him the floor so he can briefly tell you how Zoho Creator works, and then we'll look at the actual demo. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Paul. In this part, I want to just like to give you a hint about the multiple layers that we have in Zoho Creator as a local platform. So as I told you, I'm a developer. I studied as a developer. I worked for CGI for more than 6 years for multiple companies here in the US and Canada. And I'm gonna say in the old school development, I'm gonna say we need to think about everything. Every layer of our development needed to be think about. What low code or Zoho Creator essentially help us is to help with those layers. So the one important part, the first one will be the forms. So as soon as we have those forms, so as my colleague Paul explained, we have drag and drop. We can add easily a couple of I'm gonna say fields. So whatever, like date, time, currency, stuff like that. So after that, as soon as that is done, we have directly some reports linked to those forms. So, and this is also a reality when we, like we said, empowering those citizen developers, because by exposing those layers and simplify them, what Zoho Creator does is, as soon as I have a citizen developer who needs to add a couple of reports, he doesn't need an extensive development background. He can just go ahead and create those reports to respond to his needs. After that, we have also I'm going to say the integration. This is an important part. So integrating with CRM, integration for accounting with books, those integration are built through Zoho, and this is also simplified, can be simplified for a development citizen developer. Then you have the layer workflow. That's when we as professional developers help a lot our client through custom business rules and to empower their day-to-day and also simplify their work. Example, you have bill of materials, for example, and other Zoho apps, but they're more manual. So how can we help them? And my colleague will go through that. So we go with the workflows. And after that, the mobile part. As developers before, you needed to think and develop that part, or we have our app which is mobile friendly and responsive. This is a layer that Zoho Creator will give directly. As soon as you have your app done, it's already mobile ready. So all you have to do is choose, even as a citizen developer, what are the layers or are the reports forms that you need to go through. And last but not least, the analytics. When as a manufacturer or any type of client, analytics, it's an important part. So linking those multiple layers, sales, operation with accounting to give you like a real-time dashboard through each day to give you a real, I'm gonna say, feeling on how your company is going. You, one thing I want to complete with before handing the demo to my colleague Usama is there is like the low code is not it's not done just for simple apps. It can be done for complex businesses as manufacturers. The important part is to do it or work with companies or people that understand the profession. This is what we understand when we starting with local. We started with small apps, but after multiple years with multiple colleagues who work with manufacturers, we understand that low code can go that way. And before going more, I'm gonna hand it to my colleague Usama, who will show you our app that we've implemented through multiple clients, just to give you a hint on how that works.
Okay, thank you. I will share my screen. Share. Okay. First here, introducing our manufacturing dashboard. So it is designed to provide a comprehensive overview of your production operations with the real-time data visualization. So you can monitor from here all your KPIs, such as production output, equipment, and quality metrics, etc. So it helps you first thing in the morning with your coffee. You have this kind of view. Of course, this is not a fixed dashboard. You can adapt it. So the power here of Zoho Creator is you can create your own dashboard with your own KPIs depending on your specific results. So here it's pretty straightforward with all your KPIs. You can have an overview to kickstart your day with some decisions, etc. Okay. Now let's switch to our app. So inside our app, you have here a dashboard, or sorry, a database of your products. So your products can sit here, and it's all synchronized with Zoho Books. So all we can see here, for example, let's take this part number, for example. So inside you can have as much as details as you want. So this is the part where Zoho Creator can give a lot of flexibility, so you can enhance your process and add some more details to what Zoho Books can provide. So for example, let's say you have multiple vendors per product. which is not supported, for example, in Zoho Books. So here in Zoho Creator, you can assign as many vendors as you want to your product. You have many other details. Let's see, for example, your accounting details or information. For example, purchase account, sales account, inventory account, and then some flags that you can add to make some special business rules inside your application. So just let's see a quick example of what I was talking about when citing the data synchronization between Zoho Creator and Zoho Books. So let's say I need to update or modify my part number. So I changed here my part number. It was automatically or instantly modified and updated in Zoho Creator. Okay, so let's then in any manufacturing app, you have BOM management. So here I have an example of a simple BOM with 3 levels. So the top level BOM, and inside we have 2 sub level, so two sub BOM, and inside one of them we have another sub BOM. Here I have a visually more comprehensive view of this example. So the parent BOM, or the top level BOM, inside we have 2 sub BOM, and inside we have some component and another sub level BOM, which contains another 2 components or 1 component. With those components are we can purchase them from our vendor or supplier, and the BOMs, of course, they are assembled inside our factory, for example. So then let's say we have, sorry, for example, let's say I received a customer, a PO from my customer. So I need, as a sales manager or a sales agent, to add it to my my system. So I need to enter my sales order, and I can have as many information as I want. So just to show you what I was talking about when talking about synchronization between Zoho apps. So let's see, for example, when I'm about to create my sales order. As soon as I select my client, here you can see that all the information about my client, which is centralized inside my Zoho CRM, which contains my master data about my client. So all this information are pulled from instantly from Zoho CRM. So I no need to each time to enter this kind of data. So I have I pulled out my address, my bill to address, my ship to address. So, and here I can have my part numbers or my items I need to ship to my customer. After that, I can approve. I can have as many custom levels of my sales order processing. So for this example, we have this kind of level. So the first level is my sales order is a draft, then it is approved and sent to my client. Then do my client need to have to put a down payment to this to his sales order or not? So after that, if the down payment is added, it is a credit note is created in Zoho Books instantly. So after that, we have three classic scenarios, let's say. So the first scenario, I have all my inventory available. So it is straightforward. It goes to clear to ship. So it's ready to ship. I do all my credit limit check. I prepare shipment. If I need, I can send an order acknowledgement to my client, and then I can print. Let's say for this example, I need to print a packing slip and maybe send it to my client before, for example, printing a commercial invoice. So we can have this kind of document or custom document that cannot be done in Zoho Books. We can do it inside Creator easily. So after that, I can confirm my shipment, and as soon as I do this, my order, let's see inside Creator here, I confirm the shipping. So inside Creator, I should have this sales order packed and shipped. So it is confirmed instantly inside Zoho Books. So it's packed, shipped, and not yet invoiced. So after that, I need to invoice it from Zoho Creator. So here I have just confirmation what need to be invoiced. Okay, all the information look good, so I can send it to my client from Creator if I need. So here I need to close the printing tab pop-up. So I can send it to my client, and then I trigger the invoicing inside Zoho Books as soon as I send it to my client. So here, if I update my view, I look for 73. I see that my invoice is created and my sales order is invoiced, and it looks like it's look good. Packed, one shipped, one invoiced. So it's synced instantly. No need to have to do the operation into two places. So here what I've shown now is an example of a flow for you can implement for your process, and then we can have another complexity before invoicing. I need, for example, to assemble and produce or execute my BOM. So for this example, I have my sales order in pending. So let's go back to our three scenarios. So I was talking about we have all the availability, so no need for a purchase or a production. This is the example I showed you earlier. So straightforward to clear to ship the product, invoice your client. Then we have the second scenario where we can only ship a partial shipment. So in this case, I have my order in pending orders, and I have this button, for example, activated. So I can do a partial shipment. So as soon as I click partial shipment, I can go to the sales order, go to clear to ship, so I can process my sales order exactly as before. The only difference here is I can only ship what is available and what is reserved for my sales order. The third scenario is when I don't have any of of the inventory available. So then I can click order or replenish, and then in the background there is a lot of logic running in the background with our workflows. So there the logic is, do I have a bomb inside my sales order? If yes, I need to create a work order. So inside the structure of my BOM, do I have a component that need to be purchased, or I have available quantities? So if available, I will reserve it. If not available, I need to create a purchase. Do I need to create a new purchase, or I have already some purchases for this vendor already created, so I need to append them to my purchase order? No need to create multiple purchase orders, which are for the same distinct for the same vendor. So all this complex logic uh, is running in the background. No need to check level by level of my BOM. Do I have enough inventory? Do I have enough? Do my purchase order already exist, or I need to create new purchase orders? Do my already existing purchase order already contains enough quantities, so no need to append anything? I just need to reserve this quantity. So all this complexity, 4, 5, 6 workflows are running in the background. A lot of time consuming processes are all uh, um, scripted or programmed inside our workflows. So this is the what, even if we say it's low code scripting, but it can be really powerful. So a lot of time, which is a lot of time consuming processes, are we are able to do them with low code. So it generated all my 3 levels. The bomb, the first level, and second level we have 2 bombs as I showed you. So, and the third level, which is inside this level. So -2, -1, it means that it's inside this level. So all of the component inside, if it's available, it's reserved. If not, the difference is pushed to a new purchase order or existing purchase order. So if I go to purchase orders to be sent, I can see that my purchase order have been generated automatically, and I can see that is reserved for my work order 35, which is this one, 35. It's already reserved for my work order. So just what I need to do here is to confirm my purchase order. I can show you, of course, my purchase order that was generated is automatically again, it's automatically synchronized with my Zoho, so I can see it already here with all my products. So I need to confirm my supplier purchase order here. I need to have the expected date. So this kind of workflows that can enhance or control my flow. So I need to have a purchase or expected delivery date to process my confirmation. Sorry. So I confirm now my purchase order is ready to receive. I receive it, and let's say I will receive all my quantities because of course, as you can, of course we can do partial receiving. I need to approve. Okay, purchase approved. Of course, here I have some product that need to be sampled. So I 3 of the 4 part numbers need to be sampled. So here I will go ahead and validate all the samples. Of course, I can reject a quantity if I want, so it's not received and not billed. So here I received all my purchase order. Of course, another time I can check if everything is okay inside Zobox. Look here, I can see that it was received and billed. So I can go back to the bill, and if I need to change anything about the prices or anything, I still can do it. So if I go back to my work order, I can see that something have been activated here. So I see that some of the levels are ready to assemble because I have enough inventory now for them, and the other ones that are not ready to assemble, because of course I need the sub-level bomb to be assembled before before assembling the top level bomb, which is completely logic. So I can go ahead and assemble and go on with the assembly. So this one is activated now because I assembled, and I made the inventory available, the quantity available for my top level bomb. So I can see this one. I can see that it was assembled and reserved for sorry, for my top level bomb. So I can go ahead and assemble everything, and then I can go back to my sales order and process it and ship it to my client as exactly as I showed you earlier in the other example. So it's pretty much this. So we did the entire circle. So of course, as we as Yunus said before, and Paul, uh, we have the entire control about everything we are programming inside Zoho Creator. So we can have more levels of validation, we can have more complexity, we can have less complexity. It's the power of Zoho Creator and the power of low code. So I will give you back the screen, guys. So my demo is done. Thank you.
I pass it to you, Trevin.
Thank you. Thank you very much for
Thank
that.
you. Thanks a lot, Usama.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, let me come back on camera. Thank you very much for that, Osama, Paul, and Yunus. That was really informative. And to reiterate what the intent was, right? This is a part of a three-part webinar series that we are doing with BSP. And the objective with this particular session, and to run you through the product in itself, was to show you what we are capable of executing on Creator as a platform using low-code technology. In the next couple of series, we will dig deeper into some customer use cases as well as how to build. Like Paul mentioned, by the third webinar of the series, we will be coding, we'll be building stuff hands-on during the session. So just to re-emphasize that. All right, so quick time check. We are 14 minutes away from our scheduled close. Now, our intent was to have a panel discussion followed by Q&A, but what we will end up doing right now is we will start with the panel discussion and extend that as a part of the Q&A itself. I don't think we'll have full-fledged panel discussion. So let me share my screen. Okay, let me know if you can see the screen. Paul, can you confirm?
Yes,
all
I
right.
can see it.
I got the thumbs up. All right. One quick poll before we get into the discussion in itself. Um, so, just to know what you are exploring for from an audience point of view, right? are you looking to start your digitization journey with Zoho Creator? What we will typically do is we will get in touch with you to try and understand a problem statement that you have. And we will build a free proof of concept for you to show you what is possible on Zoho Creator as a platform. And we'll have BSP also involved in the whole process. Intent is to give you the best of expertise, platform, as well as manufacturing knowledge to understand your problem statement and build what you would need. So that's the whole reason behind this particular question. Um, all right, let me go to discussion part itself. So, quick question, Eunice. Probably I'll start with you. Um, you have been on Zoho Creator platform for a while, right? If you could give a short insight into your journey with Creator in itself, because I'm sure when you started working with Zoho and otherwise that's itself, you would have had different choices to make. Traditional development would have been a way around it. What led you to Zoho Creator, low code platform, your journey around that? It would be nice to know for our audience.
Yes, definitely. So my journey with Zoho Creator started before even I joined BSP. I was working with some couple of, I'm gonna say, startups here in Quebec, Canada, and they were using a little bit of CRM, but they had some proof of concept that need to be shown to some um, potential clients. So they asked me to help. So that was my first part. So I started searching a little bit. That's when I found low code and especially Zoho Creator. So it helped me in a couple of weeks to create a complete proof of concept. I'm saying proof of concept, but it was more than that to show to potential clients. So that's how we start. And then I joined BSP, and that's when I saw that we can do more than simple proof of concept and simple apps with it. So it sums it. It pretty much sums it.
Got it. Okay. And can you elaborate on a couple of interesting implementations that you have done for manufacturing? I know we are bringing in a customer for our next session, but if you could just touch upon um, some of the implementation that you have done where low code fit best, and how you went about the whole process, and others on the panel, please feel free to pitch in once Eunice sets the context. It's important for us to communicate this to the audience to help them understand how what we are doing on the platform.
Um, we had a couple of interesting cases, I'm gonna say. So cabinet manufacturers, like manufacturers in different type of industries. So they were with one multiple apps, so different apps that don't talk with each other. So that's one point. And the other important point was that it's all, I'm gonna say, all ERPs on premise who gives who are not simple to use, not simple to integrate with. So Zoho Creator with the Zoho ecosystem give them that one, I'm gonna say, one shop when they can do everything. So they have the CRM for their sales, they have Zoho Books for their accounting. I'm gonna just minimize to this couple, and Zoho Creator was the heart by managing all the operations. So from the inventory with their complexity, with their, and also their ADN. So a lot of manufacturers that we work with have their proper way of work that they've improved through the years. So instead of having an ERP as it is and just implemented and forcing their way uh, on it, they were more intended or thinking about using a platform as Zoho Creator to who can be adapted to their needs and adapted to their reality. So this is how we have that success with manufacturers, because as Paul said from the start, we can talk about inventory all day long, but not all the companies have the same process of managing their bill of material, of managing the sales of order. They all have that particular uh, niche that gives them that empower them and make them unique. So this is how we help them. It's through Creator. It's through that customization and simple customization. I don't know if you guys want to add anything, Paul or Usama.
Yes. Let me jump in for a second.
Yeah, Philip.
Yes. Well, I had a couple of examples written here, and I guess they're not all related to manufacturing, but I guess the logic behind it stays the same. You know, we had for example, we had a lot of clients that were outdoor construction and renovation companies, and even if and that can apply to manufacturing, even if the processes were similar, we were able to use the same base and the same model of application. And because Zoho Creator is a very powerful tool and the development time is very quick, we can adapt the same model to the specific processes of each and every client in a very short time. So we can spend less time, doing the basics, doing the basic of inventory, the basics of sale, and putting more time in customizing so that it fits the client.
Just to give another simple example, Tribun. So I don't know, you guys, if you know, like the pool industry is very important here in the US and the Canada. It's very important. So we had a client who had 5 applications to run his business before joining us. And what's important in that is that we have a short time, because the pool industry will run from, I'm going to say, May to October here. You know, we have snow here in Canada. So we have a short time. So we had from November, I'm going to say October, November until April to change all that. So, and when we talk about that, we change them from all sales and accounting, sorry, but the important part was inventory, all the important parts, service and POS, all through Zoho Creator in this amount of time. With all ERP or all systems, it will take more, as you know all. So this is how Zoho Creator helps.
Got it. And I think going back to what you were saying initially, Jonas, I think the word that we are looking for was edge. By by catering to the nicheness of processes, by catering to the uniqueness of the processes, you as an organization, they are able to retain the edge that they have in the market when delivering their services or product that they're giving. And it's fascinating. One thing that I end up emphasizing to everyone that I speak to at any platform is that low code and creator are meant to make things simple, but not just for simple problem statements, right? Build in as much complexity that you want into the application, into the processes that you want. Any low code platform that you're choosing to go with should be able to do that. And with the example that you've shown, it's quite clear that Creator has the ability if you use it properly, right? Quick time check. We have just 4 minutes to go, so I'll have one more question before we wrap. And anybody can take this, right? But as an organization who has not started building on Creator or low-code platforms in general, what are the key points you would suggest to be kept in mind at the beginning of their journey? Especially if you can add context from a manufacturing point of view, that will help. What are your thoughts around that?
From starting the actual project, I would just say like having a dedicated team always helps. It doesn't exactly have to be the owner of the company or a supervisor, but usually a couple people to contribute. That's like the most important part. Sort of what I mentioned earlier, having a bit of a plan to execute is always best. And I think if you start with those 2 points, the rest of it is a bit easier since it is agile. Those are the benefits, and you'll be able to always depend on the benefits, but start with a good foundation with those 2 things. I don't know if Philip, Eunice, you want to add anything else?
I'm going to say, like I said a little bit earlier, you need to work with a team who understand the profession. It's not the coding. I'm going to say, I'm exaggerating, but everyone can understand coding, but if you understand the profession, you can help greatly the team or the manufacturers, for example, because it's not just you drag and drop, and this is a business of inventory and how I can do +1 -1. It's more than that. Do you understand what manufacturers lives day to day? Do you understand what they need on their day to day to be fully operational, and what are the best KPIs they need to make the most of it, especially on hard times? How they can decide properly what are the next steps. So that's important. And the collaboration, as my colleague Paul said, is very important. Our best cases were with clients who were hands-on on the work with us. It's not like I give you the project and work on it. I'm not talking about BSP or whatever client, whatever vendor or partner you work with. You need to be on it. You need to work with them. It's a collaboration. It's a partnership to deliver the best of it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Yunus. I think we are at the end of the hour. We just have a couple of more minutes to go. So I'll fill in the rest of the details with respect to post-event activities, right? So um, first of all, thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. And thank you very much, all the panelists. It was a very interesting discussion from a personal point of view, because manufacturing is not something that I have actively worked on. So to get the perspective on what is possible and the use case that are there, that's very, very interesting. As a follow-up, we will share recording with everyone. We will send out a post-event email. And a few of you have asked us to get in touch with you to understand how Creator can help your business. So we will come back to you on that probably by tomorrow or on Monday. And like I mentioned earlier, to all of you who have registered for this particular webinar, we will send out a personalized invite for the next webinar of the series. That is a customer webinar. So the cabinet manufacturing client that Yunus mentioned about, their name is Amoris D, AD Plus, based out of Quebec, Canada. And they have a very, very interesting use case of a custom ERP that was built to handle their processes. So we will explore that. We will try and show you what was done for them, and understand as to the benefit that they received out of the platform built on Creator. Once again, thank you very much for joining in. It was a pleasure to have you folks in here, and we will talk soon. Have a great day, evening from wherever you're joining in. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.